What is up, everybody? Welcome to Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Sunday, August 25th, and we are here to chat AEW All In what was probably one of the best AEW pay-per-views for sure this year. I think it's definitely up there, maybe the greatest pay-per-view we've seen from AEW. I feel that after that ending, the way that we closed out the show, I think someone can definitely make a case for that, as well as all of the other moments, the good matches that we saw, great matches that we saw here today. It was a show. Reg, what is up?
What's up, Denise? We are here for the post show. I am honestly blown away about everything that happened in the All In event. Somebody sent me the link for who the person was in the crowd. So,
oh, well, that's not where I was expecting when we were going for this. For the audio listeners, for those who missed it, there was a very, very gorgeous blonde bombshell in the audience that got a lot of people talking. Somehow people are talking about Bryan Danielson winning the AEW World Champion and then also blonde bombshell.
Listen, it's the duality of being a professional wrestling fan.
Right, exactly. Okay, so I want to go ahead and start things off, Reg, with overall thoughts. When you think of AEW All In, I mean, of course they delivered, but how do you think that this pay-per-view sort of held up compared to a lot of the other stuff? How even compared to last year's All In?
I think, honestly, I'd say this was a 10 out of 10 show. I think with the tributes and kind of how they played into the UK crowd, played into a lot that happened surrounding the event, I think this was way better than last year. The matches were insanely better than last year. This show was great, and I think the crowd is what really sent it over the edge. They were hot the whole show, Denise.
The whole time. I thought that for the most part, they were only maybe just a little quiet for one match, which I think we all know which one it was, and it was the Britt Mercedes match. But even then, they never died at all. Like, the crowd was lit the entire time. At no point did I want to say, oh, hey, the crowd feels tired. They feel exhausted. At no point did that happen. Like, they really, really, they killed it, man. It actually kind of makes me a little bummed that All In's not going to be there next year. I thought they ended it on a really high positive note.
Yeah, I think that especially with kind of the build up and all the talk going into last year, I think this exceeded expectations. Everything hit really hard, and the ending is what really maybe made it the best AEW pay-per-view ever.
Well, let's go ahead and start there, because that's literally where we just came off of. We ended up just seeing the big main event, title versus career, Swerve Strickland defending his AEW World Championship against Bryan Danielson. I mean, I think that they, from the very beginning, not only did they get people like already invested from like the very beginning, from the entrances, the video packages, just the overall moment, seeing Brie there with her kids, watching Bryan Danielson, all of those things were really good. But I thought the pacing of this match was phenomenal, because it felt like a main event the entire way through. And for the most part, like, we got to see some blood. We got to see so much action between both of these guys. Like, they sort of, there was a lot of offense for both guys. It didn't feel like it was just one guy totally dominating the entire time. Of course, Swerve did get a lot of that during this matchup here, but for the most part, I thought there was a really nice balance throughout the entire match of both guys. Good counters, just all of that in terms of the body of the actual matchup. And we ended up seeing Hangman Adam Page. He did come out. A lot of people were expecting this, and they even teased it. I thought it was over. I bit in that moment, Reg, when I thought that Hangman, when I saw Swerve gets distracted by Hangman and Bryan hit the Busaiku knee, I'm like, oh my God, this is over. But I was kind of glad that it wasn't, only because I didn't want Hangman to be the sole reason that Bryan Danielson won. So here's the other thing, Reg. For me, seeing Swerve tap to Bryan Danielson was the cherry on top of all of this, because when a man taps, that says a lot. It sort of means, to me, hits a little bit harder than just hitting the 1, 2, 3. Seeing someone tap out is them giving up in this moment, and the other man being the better man.
Somebody, they're saying another echo on this. Can this?
Oh, is it on me?
Yeah.
Is it on me or is it on you?
It's on. When I talk, I can hear it on your side.
Test. Oh, that's so weird. I don't know why that's happening.
Yeah, like when I can like hear the echoing in my ear.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Like,
all right, well, you continue on and I'll figure it out.
Like, I don't think it's on me, because I haven't changed nothing.
No, there's no echo. Everyone's saying it's good, or some people are saying it's so good.
Weird.
Yeah, let me know. Yeah, people are saying no echo. Oh, that's weird. All right, well, let's keep going. So how did you feel about what you saw here with Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, I thought that the really fine moments of this match were at that point where Bryan hit the Busaiku knee and Swerve kind of shook it off. That played in exactly into what you're saying here at the end of the match of it added on. Bryan's strikes weren't going to be enough. He's basically dead. He needed to fight from the bottom of his heart to get this, and a submission is exactly the way to do it. We know Bryan from throughout his career as a submission guy, as a technical wrestler. He hit the counter mutilation in this. He transitioned to the label lock and then eventually finished it with the Rings of Saturn type. I think the transitions of that were really awesome. There were some elements in this that were needed. I think the Hangman thing was needed because a lot of people were saying Hangman's probably going to have something to do with this. Hangman's going to win the casino gauntlet and eventually cash in on Swerve at the end, but he didn't. But I think you needed to at least have him on screen. And this adds on to, there was a rumor that Swerve and Hangman could get into it at All Out. Now Swerve has a reason to be like, what the fuck were you doing down there, dude? We're going to fight. Like, I don't know. I don't like this. The family played a very important role in this. Brie being there, her connections to WWE, her connections to everything. Birdie, who says, I want my dad to not be a wrestler anymore. This is it. Like, this is crazy. They're all here in this element. All of them playing a role. Bryan put on the Bryan performance of a lifetime. He hit a lot of stuff that he hasn't done in a long time, but none of that matters. It's all about when Bryan has his heart and he's fighting and he's bloody and he's crawling in the ring. All the elements were there. This match was incredible. 5 out of 5 stars, Denise. I thought Swerve played great villain in this. Nana coming in, sliding in the bell to kind of add on to that and bring extra heat to Swerve. Incredible match. This was great on both sides, honestly.
Well, I mean, we were talking about, I mean, there's so many different points to hit on here, but one of those big things that I do want to mention is a Swerve as a villain here, because I mean, he's going out there and he is stomping Bryan Danielson, who's already bloody as all hell. He's stomping him in front of his wife and daughter and son, and who the hell knows if there was any other relatives there too. But it's when you do that in front of especially children, they're not even teenagers, they're children. And then seeing Prince Nana go and dance, it's like, imagine witnessing a tragedy in your face and someone is dancing in your freaking face. That makes it even worse.
That's what's funny about this though, Denise, because you told the story about your cousin earlier, or your little cousin, or story earlier about telling someone about wrestling, and like, at those ages, you don't really know, like, your dad's getting beat up by some guy. You might think, no, like, this is wrestling. He's not really getting hurt. I'm sure before the match, he's like, you guys are going to see something, but daddy's not going to be okay. But you don't know. He's bloody. This guy's stomping him. And then you look to the left and a guy's dancing. You're like, what is going on? What is my brain seeing here?
Well, I mean, of course, we don't know how wrestlers are in terms of whether or not they like smarten up their children. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know what Bryan's children think of pro wrestling or in terms of what their father does for a living or how they take it. But let's say even so going into it, okay, this is fine. Daddy approved it, whatever. Daddy warned me ahead of time. But because they do such a good job while they're doing this, all of a sudden you could be like, hey, maybe this is legit. Like, you'd be thinking it's a shoot.
Like, my dad's acting a little too good, man. He told me it was all good, but like, he don't look all good.
Right. And so, it really was this thing of, I think at the end of the day, we did get the story, because this is exactly what I wanted to see play out, Reg. I wanted to see the story of Bryan Danielson, like you said, being this man that was practically beaten down, and yet he found a way to like rise above it, right? Never give up. I'm out here busting out all of John Cena's lines, but he really did. This, to me, this ending to All In, this ending to this match. I know you hate this word, Reg. I know you hate cinema, but shit, I thought they did a really good job with the overall story to tell you that, hey, Bryan Danielson really did rise above all of the shit that he was going through to make it to win the AEW World Championship. I had said multiple times, this story to me was a story about heart and passion and the love of pro wrestling. And who identifies with that more than the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson?
Yep, I agree. I think that's kind of the story you needed to tell. All the interviews he did coming into this, talking about this is it, I don't know, like, but then on TV, he's talking about, I want to win the championship, all this. His family is really here. We need all the elements, final countdowns playing to start the show. Like, him just walking for the entrance is like, oh my God, this is crazy. All these emotions going through. They just played this video. It's like, what's going to happen here? Denise, in the match, while we're watching, I'm still like, dude, is he going to win this? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's happening. Like, that wasn't a bit. I'm like, Bryan could really lose this. But like, as the match went on, and as it gained momentum, and you could see Bryan becoming the Bryan that we know and love, you're like, okay, this is going to end in a great way. But I thought the elements that they added onto it made it an even bigger moment. It was just such a great moment.
You mentioned the elements. I do want to touch on that because I thought that AEW did a really good job of making a lot of people believe, and they sold the stipulation. That's exactly what they did. They sold the stipulation because usually sometimes certain stipulations, they sometimes give the ending away. Sometimes you think, oh, because of a certain stipulation, all of a sudden, I can pretty much guess the finish. But with the title versus career stipulation here, I feel like they really sold it to people and truly making you believe that that was it for Bryan. One, you had the injuries and all of that. Two, him mentioning that he was going to have to need neck surgery. Three, you have him go out there with the final countdown. 4, he's selling the next stuff in the actual match. 5, you have his family out there. 6, it's Wembley. I mean, there's probably a lot more, but I just named 6 things that they did alone to make you think that this was it for Bryan Danielson. And you got to give AEW credit for that because a lot of people were really torn, including yourself. You mentioned it. You flip-flop back and forth.
Totally. And I'm thinking of because the other day we talked about, I was like, what if this really is Denise? And you were like, no, if Bryan's going to have his last moment, I want it to be more like Sting. We're like, we know, like they say the date, this is the retirement match. And this kind of gave up those elements also. Like maybe they're not telling us straight out that this is a retirement match, but it really could be. And that made the win even bigger for me. Cause like I'm flip-flopping. And then it actually happens like, oh shit. And then it all comes together of like, damn, Bryan Danielson, he retired. They told him he'll never wrestle again. Came back to WWE, had one of maybe my favorite wrestling moments ever with Kofi Kingston. And then he came over to AEW and has had some of the best matches of all time. A lot of time he felt like he didn't even really want this championship. I thought like maybe Bryan's going to be like, no, Tony, I'm cool. I don't want that. I don't care. I don't care what you tell. I don't want it. But no, he is now the AEW World Champion, and it hits so much harder just because the journey it took to get here.
All right. So I know this is kind of hard, but in terms of, all right, where do we go from here, right? For both Swerve and for Bryan, because, well, I think for Swerve, for one, I think we circle back to Hangman Adam Page.
Correct.
Given what we saw here today. So I think we know where Swerve is headed to. Hangman Adam Page. Bryan Danielson, because Darby gets his match, right? We mentioned that. So we know Darby's coming up. There's a potential Christian Cage match in there, given that Christian Cage won a big match here tonight, which we'll talk about later. Christian Cage, Darby, those could be the next directions he's going into. Is there anything else that we might expect or can expect? I know a lot of people are also mentioning Nigel.
Oh, Nigel. Yeah, those are probably the top 3 matches right there. Because I feel like I kind of want the last one. If the last match is a title match and he's going to lose to somebody, I think Darby's maybe the best of like kind of passing the torch. But Bryan might have a different idea who he wants to pass the torch to. We got a couple months. I don't know how long this is going to be, but I'm excited about the potential Nigel match a lot. So, I mean, this is going to be cool to see what kind of champion Bryan Danielson is. Does he have many defenses? Does he just carry it? Does he defend it once and lose it? Like, it's a lot of interesting choices.
Do you think, maybe I'm an extremist, but do you think this is one of, if not one of the best endings to a pro wrestling match or moment that we've, at least moment for sure, that we've gotten?
Personally, it's mine before today were number 1 was Kofi Mania and number 2 was Bryan Danielson at WrestleMania 30. And I like this moment better than WrestleMania 30. So
I was going to say, this one's really up there for me, like really up there. And I know a lot of it has to do with recency bias, so pardon me, but I really just kind of felt like this moment, I told you, it had that movie, that feel good movie vibe. You know, when you watch a really good movie, you're like, oh man, I feel good. I can watch anything now. Like, I feel like I can accomplish anything because you're so inspired by what you see. That's exactly how I felt coming off of Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland. Really.
Sometimes you just want a happy ending, Denise. It's not that hard. Just give us the happy ending and we're going to celebrate and clap. Like, we've been disappointed so many times. You see why I flip-flop? Because wrestling has taught me you don't get a happy ending, dude. That's not what this is about. We determine your feelings. And just to give us a happy ending, I'm excited about it. That was awesome.
I feel it. All right. We got a couple of super chats to get into with this. Of course, send in your thoughts on how you felt, what your reaction was. Let's go. This is from Paul Morales that says, let's effing go. Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Infamous Raider Local says, nah, bro. I'm not crying. You're crying. Feel good ending. That's what we got. Roberto Arsenal says 9 out of 10 pay-per-view overall for me. Mike T90K says that was one of the best pay-per-views they've ever done. I really do think so because it had everything that you need. Great wrestling, big stars, and a big setting. Oh, and really great endings to the stories.
I thought, it's funny because I thought that Jericho and Hook was going to be my least favorite match and it wasn't.
Oh, wow. What's up? Learning tree out there rising on your ranking list.
Look at that.
All right, we got Alexander Fitzgerald who says, who left this bowl of onions here? I'm not crying. Get to see Bryan at Wrestle Dream. Dude, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Are you going to go?
I'm going, yeah. If it's going to be close to his last match or anything, like, I got to be there.
Yeah, I feel you. We got Vasco here who says, best story, that main event was awesome. Yes, I agree. We got Luke Thornton here who says, All In did close to Mania numbers. Jamie Hayter's return, Toni versus Mariah, the Gauntlet, Ospreay, MJF, and Swerve Danielson were classics. Even the weaker matches were solid top 3 AEW events. Proud to be a fan. I definitely like this more than last year. I will tell you that right now. Loved it more than last year. I can't think of another match that in terms of like, when I still think of my favorite AEW match ever, of course, that's still Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson. But in terms of the moment, of course, Bryan Danielson winning the title, it's ranked a little higher. The specific moment, but match, obviously, still against Will Ospreay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the two contrasting things of AEW of like the most amazing and it's the same guy. It's Bryan Danielson, the most amazing match you've ever seen in your life, and also the most emotional, coolest, crazy moment that you've ever seen in your life from the same guy.
Wild, man. No, see, that's why I'm so sad to think that sometime around next year, we really are going to be talking about he's going to be part-time, and who knows, maybe he'll announce his official retirement next year. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know.
We're not going to be able to see this all the time anymore.
So. Makes me want to cry. All right. Infamous Rigger Loco says, I wish the celebration was longer, but I'm happy. Yeah. It felt long. It felt pretty a good amount of time, but of course we're going to want to sit it out and, get a whole ass interview. I would have loved an interview.
Yeah. It felt like they were running kind of close for time though, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably. But when you see your team, like a team win a Super Bowl or whatever, and then at the end you get that instant reaction. I think that would have been kind of cool to get, but it's all right. It's fine.
We're gonna see, he probably is gonna be in the scrum, and I'm sure on Dynamite they'll have a celebration.
Right. We got John Taylor here who says, I expected to cry if Danielson lost, but holy crap, I'm crying tears of joy that he won. Let's effing go. #Kelly Connection. Happy tears. We deserve happy tears. All right. Too much drama in pro wrestling. Alexander Fitzgerald says Danielson had a big moment at WrestleMania 30, and this year at All In, Danielson hit GOAT status tonight. I feel like he was definitely already there. Yeah.
He was already GOAT status before he came to AEW.
All F and some says whenever Okada turns face, I hope the crowd yells bitch when he throws a strike, sort of like how they do with the meat chants. Bitch, bitch, bitch.
Good bit.
Wild. All right. Uncle Dong says, what is left for Bryan Danielson to achieve? He should retire at the end of the year, keep healthy, and spend more quality time with his family. So it's looking like he's going to keep going for a little bit. I think he's going to stick to his original plan of being part-time.
Yeah, I think that this year, he's probably going to get that neck surgery at some point. So he'll be down at some point. But I think he's going to finish out at least for a couple more months.
John Taylor here says maybe if Mama Wayne was on Reg's shoulders going up the ladder, she would have made it. Reg.
We wouldn't have been going up.
Yo. All F and some says, Reg, don't forget to book your happy ending later.
That's crazy.
Y'all are nasty. Alexander Fitzgerald says, once I saw Nigel wrestle, I was like, I think Bryan Danielson is winning, so we can get Nigel versus Bryan. It's interesting that was the moment. All right, cool. We got Web Surfer guy who says, how about career versus career, Omega versus Bryan? Nah, bro.
Mm-mm.
I don't think I'm tough enough to handle that.
I can't. Tears of tears will come down. I don't know what's up with Kenny, but I don't want him to be retiring anytime soon.
Right. But I mean, he's been out due to his diverticulitis for a really long time.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like that would just be like torture for us fans. Like, who would you even root for?
Well, by that time, it'd be like, well, Bryan's really going to go. So I'd be cheering for Kenny, you know?
Right. I see what you mean. Okay. Infamous Raider Loco says, okay, hear me out. Back to back. Good feeling for All In. But when and do they do the rest of not so happy endings with heel winnings, but you're not mad about it? Wait, did I read that back? Good feeling for All In. Sorry, what's the question?
He's essentially asking, like, when did they do a not so happy ending? And they did a couple with Max, didn't they?
Oh, man, that World's End match, that was not good. When I think of bad pay-per-views or bad AEW stuff, I only think of the AEW World's End. Oh, that one time that they didn't call an audible for the freaking tag team match with Acclaimed and Swerve and all of that.
The issue is Raider Loco brings up a very other valid point in there, but they're not mad about it because people were very mad about that.
Yeah, they were mad about that. But I'm trying to think if there was another moment where they were like legit pissed. That was really one of the ones.
AEW gives up a lot of happy endings. Crazy to keep saying that. That's so funny. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, maybe
that's why the people tune in. Happy endings. Hey, Tony's booking for the Sickos. Did he not say he was booking for the Sickos?
That's insane.
All right, we got Juan Ortega who says that if you're looking for a happy ending, get Blue Chew promo code Denise. Amazing pay-per-view today. Both talents winning the Owen Hart tournament. Now champs. Yeah, exactly that, man.
Finally, some prestige has been added to that tournament.
Exactly. We got William Buhner here who says, let's hear it for Christian's win. Love you both. William Buhner out here trying to stir the pot.
What was Christian doing out there?
All right. So let's kind of work our way backwards then. We're just going to work our way backwards down this card. So the match right before our main event was Jack Perry versus Darby Allin for the AEW TNT Championship in a coffin match. Now, I feel in terms of like the actual matchup, it was short. It was short and sweet, Reg. Yes. Short and sweet.
Yeah, we didn't love the initial ending of Jack gets him in there with the body bag and just Darby tries to get out and he hits him with the knee and covers it up. But I think the rest of it that they did was great. I thought there was a lot of really cool elements in this match where he has him bound and he threw him off the stage and we thought it wasn't that high, but it actually was pretty high. This was interesting because I thought Darby gave Jack a lot more. Like Darby didn't, like a lot of this match wasn't the focus on Darby. It was mostly about Jack Perry. But I guess, you know, with what happened after the match with Sting coming down, like it ended up being Darby's moment anyway.
Right, because when you think of like the big, like the brutal moments, right? You think of Jack Perry getting put through the real glass. At least that's what we can speculate. We can speculate through the glass. Darby getting both his legs and his wrists tied together, and then being thrown off the stage to the table, then dragged into the coffin. And then that was kind of about it. Like it was really quick. The in-ring stuff was really quick. The stuff on the stage was really quick. And it was mainly the post stuff that I think really made this feel like, oh shit, because I felt like I really reacted to that moment where Sting came out, because here's the thing, and this is what always works with Darby, Reg. The fact that we all here know that Darby is a crazy MFer, we all expect him to do the things that he teases, because he's not the kind of person where you're like, he's not going to do that. Don't be freaking teasing us. No, we actually believe that he is going to do what you see. So when they put him in the body bag and they put the gasoline, so Jack Perry wins, right? That I did not like. I agree with you. I thought that was sort of flat. But the moment afterwards, when the Young Bucks come out with the gasoline, pour the gasoline on Darby and then on the outside to the actual coffin, Reg, this kind of felt like that was this was like Darby's death wish.
I didn't know. It's because I don't know if it because you guys here in the chat prepped us and like fire. So I'm thinking in my head, like, are they gonna do fire in this show? And even in one point of the match, Denise, I was like, are they gonna do fire? And so when the Bucks came out with the gas can and they start pouring it on, they opened up the casket, start pouring it on Darby. I'm like, I don't like this, you guys, because like Denise said, if Darby is a part of something, he don't tease it. Like if he teases it, it's gonna be real. So I'm like, damn, they're about to set this fool on fire. It's gonna be crazy. Luckily, they did not. Like they don't need this. They were gonna save us, and Sting came down for a huge pop and definitely saved us. I think that even kind of aided what happened with Bryan because they were already in a good mood. Like Sting coming is like, man, we're in a good move. This is goodwill. And then like prepping that for Bryan Danielson made the Bryan Danielson thing even bigger.
It did. And now I get why they put the Jamie Hayter thing. I mean, I still feel like that should have been on the show, but now I at least see it was sort of them sort of giving us they were foreshadowing, right? Like, hey man, this big ass debut didn't even fit on the main show that we got to put this on the pre-show.
I probably would have still put it on the beginning of the show. I probably would have just started the show with Saraya coming out. Just like it's only 5 minutes. Started the show, Saraya coming out, blah, blah, blah. Do that same bit, but when the real show happens. But I understand why they didn't.
All right, we got Infamous Raider Loco here who says, I meant like which heel wins All In main event.
Oh,
perfect example, Roman beating Cody. Okay, perfect example, Roman beating Cody's at WrestleMania match, the first WrestleMania match, and then at some point All In has to do it, right? I mean, they don't have to, but of course you can have a heel win. I mean, the problem was like when you had Swerve win, he was technically a babyface. Like he wasn't a heel, and then he went back to being a heel.
I feel like Hangman next year, but I don't know if he'll still be a heel by then is my thing. Like, I think that eventually, like, we already love the shit that Hangman's doing, even though he's mean-spirited about it. But, like, he's just going to keep getting more popular.
Because when I think of upcoming champions, I think no specific order, but I think Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Darby Allin.
Mm-hmm.
Okada, that could be the heel champion, possibly.
Yeah.
I see those three guys down the line. Who never knows? You could go back to Swerve. You don't know. It can't happen. MJF. Go back to MJF.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the ones that I'm seeing in the near future.
But like I don't know. It's gonna take a couple of All-Ins before like a real heel does it, you know?
We'll see. We got All F and Some who says, shout out to Becky Jamie Hayter. She's back. I appreciate you, All F and Some. Thank you so much for that. All right. So let's go ahead and continue working our way backwards. And let's get into Mercedes Moné and Dr. Britt Baker for the AEW TBS Championship match. It's crazy because I'm looking at the times now because I'm here on the Wikipedia page. Mm-hmm. This match was 17 freaking minutes. And it didn't... I know this match felt slow, but I didn't know it was 17 minutes slow.
17 minutes, Denise?
Yeah, it's right here. 17 minutes. This went longer than Jack. This went longer than Jack and Darby. It went longer than the three-way tag team match. It went longer than the Jericho Hook match. The Toni Mariah match was 2 minutes longer than that. This match was longer than the pre-show tag team match. It was kind of lengthy.
Yeah, when I was saying that Jericho and Hook weren't my least favorite matches, because this one was.
Yeah, so, I mean, this one here, it's kind of hard to say, but I feel like the way that I described it during our watch along was that this did not feel like a pay-per-view match. This felt like a really decent Dynamite match. However,
that's what I was worried about.
Right. However, Reg, given the story, given the feuds, given the stakes, given that this is a match, Britt Baker was the opponent that people were really waiting to see feud against Mercedes.
Run my tape back to when I said, yeah, the promos are going to be great. Everybody's going to be hot. Everybody's going to be excited. And then the bell's going to ring. And what happened? The bell fucking rang and the match fucking stunk because Britt has to be carried. She's not a great worker, you guys. She's gotten to where she is because she could talk on the mic. But when that bell rings, she's like 15th, 16th, 17th on that division of good workers. Like 15, 6, like there's this many people above her. Like she's lucky to be in, like I was saying on the stream, she lucked into her spot. She was lucky to be in this position. So like just take your whatever this is and win.
But here's the thing though, too, is that, you know, on the other hand, someone that is a good worker is Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, so you can't win them all.
I was going to say, usually a good worker is known a good worker for helping carry another person in the match if they are not on the same level.
And it's like the bar has been raised so high. We're going to talk about the other women's title match that was awesome. And so you see that and then you see this and you're like, well, That's not really like, if the competition is that high, you guys have to be high. You guys have to either match it or get higher, and they didn't match it or get higher.
When I think of Mercedes' matches now in AEW, it's funny because we were talking about this on the watch along, and I had mentioned Stephanie Vacker, right? And I had even said last time when we were covering that match that I thought Stephanie Vacker outperformed Mercedes Moné. But when I think about another really good match that she had with somebody, Willow Nightingale, her match with Willow, phenomenal. I mean, I thought that match had people yelling and screaming more so than they did during the main event that night, which was Swerve versus Christian Cage. I thought the crowd was more into Willow and Mercedes. So I look at this and I'm going like, damn, she had better matches with Willow, who, you know, of course, Willow's a star, but she has never gotten to the level of Britt Baker. And then also Stephanie Vacker. I mean, they didn't even really have a real program there, to be honest. And it was just you know, she was there, that she wrestled her the same night that Mercedes got injured.
Yeah, the Mercedes, every match since she's been in WWE has been awesome. This one that's why I'm like, I was confused about why this one didn't hit. And it's because you can't win them all. There has to be, it takes two to tango. When Stephanie Vacker's out there and she's going 100 miles per hour and you got to keep up with her, that's what it is. When Mercedes has to keep up with her opponent, we're going to get 5-star shit. If she doesn't, it's usually the opponent is so great. They're in a match with Mercedes. So they're like, I have to be the hottest. I have to have the best match of all time. I have to come to her level. Britt is trying to use star status and promos as the barometer of why she should be in this match. And that's not enough. When we're in a big, huge show, All In, we need banging ass matches, and you don't have enough for that.
Right. I think they should have just I think there was some good moments during this. Like there were some good moments. But I think had they trimmed this match down, sped up the pace, and kept some of their big spots, I think we would have had a different conversation about this.
They can't do that though, because Britt's in the match.
Let's see what the people here are saying on the super chats. We got Matt Logan here who says, so is Pac now officially how do you keep wanting to say Bullet Club member, a BCC member, Blackpool Combat Club member. He was out there after the main event and ringing with Claudio and Wheeler and Bryan. Yeah, they're the new trios champs as well. So I'm so freaking stoked about that. I know you had questions about that, Reg.
Like seeing Pac out there at the end was weird. I'm like, what's Pac doing here? When did he join? I mean,
he's part of the group now. Imagine how rude it would have been if he didn't go out there.
Didn't he? I swear he did a promo a few months ago and he was like, I don't like Bryan Danielson. I don't like the BCC. Y'all a bunch of bums. Now he's friends with them.
Hey man, shit happens. What can I say? I don't know, maybe he forgave them. Forgiveness is key.
That's fair.
All right, I don't have a real answer for you guys on that, but I'm gonna enjoy it because I am looking forward to them as a trios champs here. And we got all F and some. I don't want to. I'm not gonna read this super chat. I appreciate you sending it in, but I don't want to talk about Britt's real life stuff because I only want to focus on the in-ring stuff. So all F and some, thank you so much for the super chat. However, I'm gonna kind of skip past that one there. So I wouldn't even want to focus on what she's doing storyline wise. Sheldon Jackson, thank you so much for gifting 5 DWO memberships. I see what Sheldon was doing there. Really, because he's like, he sends them in for all of them. So I appreciate you, Sheldon. All right, so there you go. Unfortunately, that wasn't the hottest match, but you know what match was really hot? You want to know which one it was? Will Ospreay, MJF, for the AEW International Championship. Of course, when we went into that, it was the American Championship, but this was, I mean, it was a trimmed down version of what we have seen before, because before we had seen the 1 hour version of this matchup here. And this time they went a total of sorry guys. Reg, my mouse isn't working anymore.
I'm like, why are you slamming it so hard?
All right, there you go. Sorry, guys. It wouldn't move. This was 25 minutes and 45 seconds. So it was 1/4 of what you had seen previously. Look at me doing math, Reg. Nice. I'm so proud. Yeah. So this was definitely, you know, a shorter version of what we have seen between these two guys. But I think I know a lot of people were mad when we saw the 1 hour match on Dynamite, but I had literally said, okay, we're not going to be able to have a 1 hour match at All In between these two guys. So that's why they did the 1 hour there. And then, hey, 25 minutes here. So this was sort of like, if you're just a person who doesn't like 1 hour matches, hell, this was probably the match for you because it was a shorter version of what they did previously. But this was freaking good, man. They hit all of their top moments on here. We were seeing, whether or not Will Ospreay would hit his Tiger Driver. Everybody was waiting to see if that was going to happen. And then when he finally did, it was such a big moment. And he really, really queued the people up, pumped the people up for the actual, the anticipation was there.
Yeah, Denise, you brought up a great point. I think they did that. We were all kind of curious as to why they did the match originally, because we thought they were going to just do the first time ever match here. But they kind of prepped us with that appetizer of like, here's the match. If they went an hour, they slow walked the dog. They did the New Japan style where they built. So at the show, they're not going to have an hour. They're probably not going to have 30 minutes. We could just get to the action straight off the bat. And even in this match, they still like built to the great moments, but like they set us up so we could get to this one and be excited for when the hot shit does kick off. Ospreay first came out to a huge pop. They're doing this Assassin's Creed thing, this break dancers. The crowd is just so ready for him to be there. The Ospreys went insane. And then it went into exactly kind of the match we expected. MJF was super into the American shit. Ospreay is like the hometown guy. He's been doing so much promo, Denise. Every time he was at podcasts, he's at people's houses, it felt like. He's at the bar, like he's everywhere. And so this was his match to come and win. This was the one moment we kind of knew was going to be guaranteed. And I thought the match, it matched what the feeling that they needed to convey. And it got the huge moment for Ospreay in the end. This is during the show, someone's like, MJF could really wrestle. Like, yeah, dude, MJF could fucking go, dude. He's incredible at this. Like, this match was like another one of like, you guys talk shit, you guys hate my promos, but when it comes down to bell ringing, I'm one of the best in the world.
Exactly. And we also have to mention Daniel Garcia because he did come out here and sort of, spook. He was sort of Daniel the ghost Garcia. He was the ghost of MJF's past right after the beatdown that MJF gave him. And I kind of liked this, like, I'm coming for revenge, Daniel Garcia. So now we know that MJF is going to be moving forward in that direction. And Will Ospreay can go back to, defending his AEW International Championship. Who's next in line for Ospreay?
Pac.
It's Pac, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, because he earned that match a long
Why did they give him a title?
Oh, he's a trios champ now, but he never got that match though with Will Ospreay. I was gonna say I would remember that, but
remember he did the promo. He's like, at All Out, I'm taking on the winner. That's why I've been yelling at Phil. But why did they give him the trios championship if they're gonna have him? They always do this thing.
Well, look, the match is still gonna be good.
Of course, it's gonna bang, but like, I don't know.
Well, at least we know we're getting Will Ospreay versus Pac on the horizon. I can't complain too much about that. And I'm honestly looking forward to Pac as part of the Trios Championship.
Me too. I'm just talking shit. I want to see Pac in any match or any position at all. He's great.
All righty. And let's see what else we got here. We got Sheldon Jackson, who says All Out main event should be Pac versus Ospreay for the there you go, for the international title.
I think it is.
That could be a main event. I'm down for that being a main event.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do with Bryan is the thing. Like, do you think that's when they'll do the Christian match?
If it's Bryan Darby main event. Because if it's, Bryan Darby, I want to main event at Wrestle Dream. Excuse me. Not All Out.
Wait,
is that happening at Grand Slam?
Yeah, I was going to say, what about Grand Slam?
This is kind of crazy that they've announced so much stuff ahead of time that it gives you a lot of time to forget.
Yeah, totally.
All right, it's going to be Bryan versus Christian Cage then, probably.
I guess. Yeah, I guess that's the easiest one. That's the one that's like, you don't have to tell a lot of story to get to it.
Right. All right, we got Sheldon Jackson, who also sends in another super chat saying, and the post show is different stream from watch along, so you have more gifted memberships. That's so nice of you.
You're so cool.
I know. I wasn't going to yell at Sheldon or anything if he didn't send one in, but thank you so much for that. All right. So yes, Bryan Darby is happening at Grand Slam, everybody. So then that leaves open. That still leaves open Wrestle Dream. That still leaves open All Out, of course, which is happening literally in a couple of days. We're like 7, 8. We're like at least 14 days away.
I think. Yeah. 2 weeks.
I'm going to be there, actually. Forgot I was going to be there.
Oh, lucky. I wish I was going to be there. Damn.
I wasn't going to go, but then I saw how cheap the flights were to go. It's really cheap, Reg.
Is it?
Yeah. Because I remember the last time that they had an event in Chicago, they charged $800 just for the flight. I nearly cried. And that was, I don't know when that was. I think it was last year or the year before that, but flights were really expensive. And then I checked this time, and I think I spent like $150 on my flight.
Damn, from 800 to 100?
Yeah, crazy. Exactly. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's in the air. I don't even remember it was a different time season or whatever the hell happened. But the price difference was just so tremendous that I felt like I needed to go. I felt like it was a bargain.
Right.
Right. So anyways, that's where we're at here with Will Ospreay and MJF. It was good stuff all around. But another thing that had good stuff all around was the Casino Gauntlet match for the AEW for a chance at the AEW World Championship. Okay, so that's where we're talking. If you're coming in here and you're like, why the hell do they keep mentioning Christian Cage versus Bryan Danielson? Well, that's because Christian Cage defeated, get this, Orange Cassidy, Kazuchika Okada, Nigel McGuinness, Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre Jr., Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Hangman Adam Page, Jeff Jarrett, Ricochet, and Luchasaurus.
My world.
Dude, what? Everybody here was sort of surprised that Christian Cage ended up being the one to come out on top of this, especially because we also had a debuting Ricochet in AEW.
Ricochet's here. Yeah, this match was one of my favorite matches of the show. I didn't love the Christian ending, but I thought everything else on this was awesome. Nigel McGuinness showing up to a gigantic pop. The crowd was going crazy. Denise going absolutely ham for Mr. Bean entrance from Orange Cassidy.
I rank it like this, like Bryan Danielson winning, Mr. Bean entrance.
I knew right where you go. As soon as you said I ranked it like, I was like, I know she's going to say second, Mr.
Dude, Orange Cassidy became my favorite person on the planet in like 2 seconds.
So good. But yeah, this was great. And then, of course, Ricochet showing up, I think, to a huge pop. He looked so confident and happy and just ready for this moment. All of his shit hit super hard. But yeah, the main event, the result, Denise, I don't really... When Christian starts coming down, I'm like, why is Christian coming down here? What is he doing here? But he did tell us that he wanted to be AEW World Champion and that the trios titles were just kind of a placeholder till he got there. So I understand.
You know what this is too? And this should have also been a dead giveaway that Bryan Danielson was going to be winning, because I had said earlier in the day, we've already seen Christian Cage versus Swerve. That was his first opponent to defend the title. That should have been a dead giveaway right there. And so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, we're talking about Bryan Danielson going into his part-time career now in AEW. Mm-hmm. And I think what's something, when you're a part-time wrestler, you're going to want to wrestle selective people. Yeah. Right? Totally. And I feel like Christian Cage might have been a Bryan Danielson situation where like he wants to wrestle Christian Cage before he's done.
Like at this point, Bryan has like a list of like 10 to 15 names of people, and Christian's one of those names. And like, oh, it'd be really cool if I was world champion too. So like, it all makes sense. It's just like, I guess it's for Christian's character. I'm like, he just keeps doing this, or he could just like insert himself into any match, but maybe they'll tie back the Young Bucks EVP thing to it or something. I don't know. It could work.
It definitely can work. But yeah, there was a lot of really good moments here. Of course, getting to see Ricochet. A lot of us were already expecting that he was going to be there. So that was a big moment. Everybody here also felt like they got huge reactions. Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Yeah, the crowd was going ham. They were on Titan time. Sometimes it'll be a minute till it comes out. Sometimes it'll be 3 minutes. Sometimes it's 30 seconds. But I thought that they laid out all the entrances and everything kind of pretty well. And this is a fun way to get a bunch of guys that consistently do great things for AEW on a weekly basis. Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly. These guys that deserve like the big moment. They were in an awesome match too. Okada.
I know it's still crazy to think that Okada was in this match and not in a singles match, but it's fine. I digressed. He had a lot of really great moments in this. And
his Hangman stuff was tight. Like they should have did one-on-one.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, we'll see if we get that We should, but we'll
Yeah.
see. But I think overall, though, they did a really good job. Like to the point where we're sitting here and we're talking about a lot of people have mentioned that this Casino Gauntlet match was up there with their favorite matches, including yourself.
Yep.
I mean, with top 3 matches, I mean, you know what? I would say top 4 matches on this show: Swerve, Bryan, Ospreay, MJF, the Casino Gauntlet match, and the Mariah May, Toni Storm matches were the top matches of the night.
Yep, that's a I'll go right along there. Like the women's match was so good. Like that maybe could be my second favorite match of the show, just with the elements and how the match they actually executed it. But yeah, those 4 matches are probably the ones.
I can't decide what was my favorite match. I feel like my favorite match, wrestling wise, was Ospreay MJF. But then I got the most
main event
is Swerve and Bryan.
Yeah, that was the best thing of the show for me.
Right. It's hard because like it really got you excited.
But there were so many great moments. Like if you pick any of that, if you pick the Mariah thing, awesome. If you pick Ospreay, awesome. If you pick the BCC and Pac, awesome. You know?
Exactly. All righty. Let's see what else we got here. We got Matt Logan, who says, so who got the biggest reaction, the biggest pop? Sting, Ospreay, Bryan's championship win.
Yeah.
Yes. I would say Bryan's championship win, Sting, and then Ospreay, because Sting was a surprise. Ospreay, we knew he was going to be there.
Yeah, even Bryan's build up, like what at the point where they're chanting yes to get him back into it, that was crazy. Like they were fired up for Bryan. But yeah, probably Sting, maybe because it was a surprise, like you said, and then Ospreay was like, that wasn't a surprise because like we knew they're gonna go ham for Ospreay.
Right. That was a given. That was like a mandatory. Like,
right,
you either cheer for Ospreay or we're beheading you.
Like every time they walk in with their ticket, are you gonna cheer for Ospreay? Okay, you can come in.
You can come in. Yeah. I kind of love that actually. Can you imagine? Oh my God, maybe in like 50 years we'll live in that kind of society.
WWE does that now, don't they?
Oh my gosh, Reg. We got effing some who says Samantha Irvin was one IG pick away from getting released. I think that's why she's stopping doing those Wednesday specials. So I don't know, obviously, about that stuff. But given just like the past, like, you know, Mandy Rose got released because of some of the stuff that she did. When I saw that Samantha was posting those kinds of pictures, my first thought was, oh, I wonder if the company's okay with that, of course, right? I don't know. And then when I saw that she stopped and the timing of it, when she had just came out with that amazing photo of herself, and just the timing, I think kind of said everything.
She's like, oh, next week will probably be the last one, you guys. I don't know. You're like, yeah, I fucking bet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, man. All right, we got John Taylor here who says, I really wanted a Ricochet Zack Sabre Jr. face-off.
Oh, yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. was there, too. G1 champion. Yeah, there was a lot of cool things. I think we were all kind of expecting a Ricochet and Hologram face-off, too, but Hologram wasn't in the match.
Thank you so much, John Taylor. All right, let's keep it going here. Let's get into that 3-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. We saw the Young Bucks defeat FTR and the Acclaimed. This was a match that was kind of just there. I feel like it was fine. It wasn't bad or anything. It wasn't spectacular. It was fine. It was doable. I don't think it hurt anybody. And I feel like the fact that it was 13 minutes long, it was fine.
Yeah, that was short.
Yeah, I was going to say, it went by really fast considering the teams that you had in there. Predictable, Young Bucks get the win. Nothing too wild.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything offensive in this. It was just kind of like the kind of match we expected. It's a triple threat match. Like I said, they had already kind of done the matches before we got FTR and the Bucks last year. We got FTR and Acclaim a few weeks ago. Like they've been doing this, so it didn't feel like the biggest match going into it. But it was fun just because the Young Bucks were in their element and they were actually doing the things that makes me love them and makes everybody else love them. But the real thing here was the debut of the grizzled young vets after the end of this, after the Young Bucks got their victory, that Denise didn't care one bit about. Because he's such a giant schism fan. Look, she forgot, you guys. Like she was
brought it up right now. Was like, oh yeah,
we were just gonna move forward. She was just gonna be like, in the next match, like that's how much she doesn't care because of stupid ass schism.
Can you blame me?
Yes,
honestly.
I can blame you.
But this isn't about who they were before. This is about who they are now. And
it is about who they were before because you're judging them.
Until they impress me right now, then I will be a fan. As of right, they're a blank slate. I'll start them at 0. They got to gain some points with me.
Well, what they need to do is put them in a match with FTR and Collision next week, and they'll fucking blow your mind, and you'll be all in. That's it. It's fine.
Well, I hope so, Reg.
They're amazing. It doesn't matter. You just got to see them wrestle, not with fucking face paint on and doing dumb gimmicks.
Here's the thing about me. Once I decide I'm not a fan of yours, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, because you keep trying to act like you're a fan of Roderick Strong when I know you're not.
I'm a fan. Okay, I'm a fan of Roderick Strong.
You're not. You're a liar.
Yes, I am. No, you're just trying to get me in trouble. And what was I talking about that you didn't like? You're not a fan of Billy Gunn.
I know. That's fair. That's true.
He
was in here again like, why is Billy Gunn out? Why is he in the ring, dude? Man.
That was your favorite part.
Come on. But yeah, I just hope, Denise, honestly, that the Grizzled Young Vets feels good for the division. I just hope that the Young Bucks come back and like really invest in being the leaders of this division, defending the tag team championships and building up other tag teams. That's all I really care about.
John Taylor says, I'm with Denise on Grizzled Young Vets. Meh.
Come on, you guys.
Wow.
They're sick.
Hey, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, man. Everybody. We'll let them win me over. Let them win me over. That's going to be their test. Once they win me over, then we're good. I'm going to give them 3 matches, Reg. 3 matches.
They only need 1.
Nah, I need 3. Because sometimes it depends on who they're in there in the ring with. If they're in there with someone really great, I'm going to be like, oh, well, it's because they were in there with someone really great.
They might put them in a squash mediocre match.
Hey, the first 3 matches that I see, that's what I'm judging it upon.
Okay, that's fair.
All right. Let me ask you a question. If you don't like a wrestler, do they ever get you to change their mind? Your mind? Do you change your mind often on somebody, or can you just tell when you're not a fan?
Yeah, they can change my mind.
Oh wow, okay.
I like the Guns. Like no bullshit.
Oh, we're sorry. That took me a second to process.
Yeah, I do.
You changed your mind on the Guns?
I do. I like those guys. I do.
Are you being serious?
I'm being so serious. I like them a lot. I think they're really good. I think they're really good at their gimmicks. I think they're pretty good workers, pretty good bumpers. Like I like them. I'm not joking at all. Yeah, I turned the corner on the Guns. Like originally I was like, these guys suck. Like their dad, I'm chill on. But them, I think the kids are awesome.
All right, you really did turn.
Yeah,
you really did turn. Usually not me. Usually if I see someone I'm like, and I don't like what they're bringing, I'll be like, pass.
It's not often.
Really hard to win me back.
Yeah. That's
like you got to go out there and be fucking spectacular to win me back.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, just to leave it at that, these Grizzled Young Veterans are starting at a blank slate with me, and I'm going to give them a chance. 3 matches. Fair. And then there are 3 strikes and you're out. All right, moving on. We got John Taylor here who says, took 30 years for Jeff Jarrett to win me over. Bro, 30 years?
Jeff Jarrett was super over on this show, Denise. He was in the Gauntlet too, and he got a gigantic pop.
He did. I've been a fan of Jeff Jarrett now for a long time, so 30 years. Wow.
I like Jeff Jarrett a lot.
That's so wild. Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's keep this going. And I want to go ahead and get into the last chance match for the FTW Championship, Hook versus Chris Jericho. When I saw this match announced, right, I'm like, why the hell are we doing this again? They pretty much did the exact same thing, the exact same kind of a match that they had at the last show that they wrestled at. I don't even remember what show it was.
Word for word. He just used like he pulled out a different thing instead of the croquet balls or whatever that they had this time, but it's pretty much like the same exact match.
It really was, and I think he knew that they needed that because that was going to at least get people interested in fun little spots here and there. So like this wasn't painful, and he wasn't getting the kind of reaction that he was the last time, because the last time that he wrestled Hook, that's when everybody was chanting, please retire, get out of here. And the crowd was being really nasty and mean. And it was kind of like, it was what it was, right?
Deserved, but
yeah, I know. But at least this time he didn't get that reaction because, it's London. They were going to be different.
Yeah, they kind of respect Chris Jericho a little bit more. Yeah, this wasn't really offensive. It wasn't like, damn, Chris Jericho's here. I mean, the entrance with Fozzy, that was like, all right, you guys. But
they kept it short. I felt like it was shorter than last year's performance.
I know. It feels like Judas is like 20 minutes worth of song. And this one was just like, he got through it. He got to the ring and they made it happen. Yeah, Big Bill, super over. I thought that was cool. The best part about this, though, was Taz saving Hook and them knocking on the double kata hajime at the same time. Like super dope. Great feel good moment for I guess that makes all of this worth it. Cause I was like, how did we get back to Chris Jericho and Hook at All In of all shows, Denise? Like that doesn't even make sense, but they made it work.
It felt like they did this match just to rewrite their wrongs, because I had mentioned even the last time when they got Taz to get up, he got up and then he did nothing.
Right.
At least this time they had him do a little something.
You're right. Yeah, it was kind of like they told the story to us. It feels like 6 months ago, and they finally put a bow on all of it.
Yeah. So let's move on from here. Jericho moves on to something else. Hook moves on to something else. I don't know what those something else are, but we just need to move in different directions. That's
so if Denise and I come back next, not this week, but next week, and Jericho's like, and Hook and I are gonna wrestle again, I'm gonna scream.
And you're still gonna show up the next week.
I'm still gonna show up though, but I'm gonna scream though.
Yeah, that's so funny. All F and Some says, how many of y'all went and took a break? Well, I had shown you that picture of the bathroom lines during the Hook Jericho match.
A bunch of people did. Denise just started reading super chats or something. Like she took a break essentially. Yeah,
I took a mental break. It's fine. John Taylor here says, I think they were smart to have Jericho to hit Big Bill into the table, since Bill was clearly the most over in the match. Free Big Bill. He got himself over. I don't know how or why. I think sometimes people just have natural comedy in them. Some people can just do comedy well and it works for them, and Big Bill's kind of showing that. He's not coming across as obnoxious. He's kind of funny.
Sometimes there's these rare cases where specifically international crowds get attached to like an American wrestler that you wouldn't expect. And like Big Bill's for some reason that guy. I mean, Big Bill is awesome though. Like, let's not disrespect. He's like the new version of Sid. He's cool. He comes out, he's fucking giant, he's funny, he choke slams people. Like, what's there not to love, honestly?
Yeah, it's just that he just kind of got sucked into this random ass storyline and
he's stuck with Jericho, but he's honestly making the best out of it.
This is what I mean. Whenever someone says like, oh, this person sucks and it's the story, it's the character that he has, I'm just like, sometimes you can make shit work.
Sometimes. And Big Bill's doing it, dude. He's like so charismatic that like, you're like, damn, I hate that you're next to Chris Jericho, but you're doing this awesome though.
Even Brian Keith, remember his face?
Oh yeah, with this wide open mouth as he's getting taken down. That was hilarious.
He probably ate like 10 British bugs. 10 British flies flew in through his mouth in that 130 seconds. You should hit him up, be like, yo, hey,
did you eat 10 British flies while Samoa Joe had you locked up?
By the way, have you heard that saying? They say that they say that in a person's lifetime, you eat, I don't know, like 10 spiders or something.
I did, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I see in my place like random spider webs. I'm like, how did that get here? So I don't doubt it, honestly.
I remember when I went to Costa Rica, they have bugs everywhere. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I think I ate all 10 on this trip.
Dude, do you get, we were just talking about what I was going to do for my 40th. I was thinking about when I went to Jamaica last time, the bugs ate me. Like my back was covered in bug bites. I thought they were like American blood. Yum, 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 yum.
It tastes like McDonald's.
I'm saying. This guy got screwed punch inside of him. Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, crazy life.
Yes, that's literally what happens. I mean, it's disgusting. There's nothing worse than being covered in mosquito bites.
Man.
It sucks, but hey, that's what it is. They got to eat too, Reg.
I'm with them.
It's the cycle of life.
And I do got some fresh American Oakland blood from California. It's great.
Oh, that's so nasty. Ooh.
You got that good Oakland blood.
It's just rude, someone just sticking their beak in you and being like,
dude, yeah, get off of me. Why are you drinking my blood, you vampire? Leave me alone.
All right, we got Rafael Garcia who says, watching this post show and Birdie looks like just like her daddy. Bree's jeans didn't stand a chance.
She's a Danielson.
I feel like usually little girls tend to look like their dads and little boys tend to look like their moms.
Mm-hmm.
I see that a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to Rafael Garcia. All right, let's keep this going. We are going to get into Mariah May and Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. Earlier, we were sort of talking about, some really great matches on the show, and this one is definitely up there.
Yep.
Best women's match of the night so far. Could definitely be a favorite for lots of people that watch the show because they really went out there and they worked. And the key thing that I thought that they did right was bring the aggression. That's what they did. This feud got nasty between them. We saw Mariah May, for whatever reason, slap her own mother.
Denise and I are still messed up about it, you guys. We're just like, we cannot believe it.
I'm going to pray for you, Mariah May. You're going to be my prayers today. I'm going to pray for your soul.
We're just like genuinely like, how could she do that?
I don't know. And at first I thought, is it Toni's mother? Slap somebody else's mother.
No, you can't slap somebody else's mom. That would have been crazy too.
It's better to slap someone else's mom than your own mother.
Totally, 1000%. But slapping anybody's mom is crazy.
I mean, I still don't really know what happened there, but it happened. And you know what? It's something we're never going to forget. So there you go.
Good job on
them.
It worked.
Mariah May. Oh, Mariah May kind of dominated quite a bit of this match. I was surprised by that. But she freaking killed it. Toni freaking killed it. She gets her win. She's the AEW World Champion, Women's World Champion. We were talking about, just fast rising stars right now in pro wrestling. Mariah May is one of them. Earlier I had mentioned that I feel like she's so special because she's got a great look. She's hella talented. Like, she's just not there because of her good looks. No, she's there because she's a legitimately good wrestler. And on top of that, she's got charisma and personality. She's the full package. And even better, she's never been in WWE. She's never been in another big like American promotion where you could say, oh, they made her name over there. No, she is making her name in AEW. I feel like Tony Khan really just hit the lottery with her.
Yeah, and what a way to cap off the story too, right, Denise? We had an amazing, almost year-told story. Toni Storm entered into a different stratosphere of person. An amazing turn by Mariah, left her bloody. Mariah entered into a different stratosphere. And then for them to do all that, and it's like, well, I hope the match matches up to everything that we've seen. And then it does, it executes. Mariah came in here with so much aggression. She was just like, I've done everything in the world to get to this moment. There's nothing that's going to stop me from beating Toni Storm for this world championship. And I think that's where the mom came in. It's like, Mom, I'm happy you're here. But if I get up and hug and kiss you, the crowd's probably going to think I'm some nice person. And I'm doing everything in the world to show them that I would do anything to win that championship. So you're a casualty here. Here's a slap. Also, if you need comfort, Mariah May's mom, I am Righteous Reg. I live in Oakland, California. I can help you out with all of your needs. Amazing capping off moment for Mariah May. I think the right choice was made. A star was born, Denise. I think Toni Storm made her star even higher being a part of this, but a real genuine AEW women's star was born in Mariah May, and for her to be crowned champion off of that, amazing work. The match beyond that, like, if you don't know anything about this story and you're just like, I want to watch a great women's wrestling match, just put this match on, because they were just in there beating the shit out of each other.
But isn't that really pleasing, though, that they had a great story that a lot of people raved about? A lot of people, this was their favorite story on Dynamite, on AEW television.
Best story coming into the show, honestly.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then for them to actually deliver in the matchup, it's like this satisfying, oh, we watched a good movie and actually had a good ending.
Yes.
What?
Exactly. Like, you sat through 3 hours and you're like, I hope this was worth it. And you're like, oh, it was worth it. It was more than worth it. This is great.
Right, exactly. So that's how I feel about it. But for reals, though, if I slapped my mother, dude, she would have kicked my ass, and then Toni Storm would have won the match.
They would have stopped the show. They would have turned the cameras off. Like, my mom would have jumped over the rail. She would have fought the referee. She would have fought me. Like, it would have been bad. She would have ran back and fought Tony Khan. Like, she would have been fighting everybody.
What are those, like, drama, Jerry Springer, like those kinds of shows?
Where you're trying to hold them back and she just keeps breaking out and she's fighting everybody. That's what it would have been.
Your troubled teenagers violent towards Denise, mother.
That's how you know white people are different from us.
Even the British ones.
I'm saying, man, you can't do that in our neighborhood. You'd be dead.
That's so wild. We got John Taylor here who says, how do you even ask your mom if you can slap her? Yeah, like, how did this come up?
How does that? Hey, Mom, can I talk to you? Oh, yeah, can I slap you tonight? What do you mean, can you slap me tonight? I came to watch my daughter win the championship.
I mean, I don't think her mom just, like, randomly came up with it. Or maybe she did.
Some of these wrestling parents do be on that shit, and they're just like, hey, what if we get some heat and you slap me? Like, it could have been. I don't know.
I have no idea. Legitimately no idea. We
love
got
it.
F and some who says that slap reminded me of that Friday After Next scene. Which
Yes.
one's that one? Because I've seen it. I've seen the movie, but what part?
He slaps his mom. He says the barbecue's so good, you will slap your mom.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's been a while since I've seen it. Since the Friday. The which one's the one where the dad gets the turd all over his suit?
That's next Friday.
Okay. The part grosses me out so much. That's the part I remember the most. He's walking around with the turd. It's so
you
bad.
got shit all on the back of your ass when he gets to his brother's house.
Yeah. So nasty. Oh man. All right, but yeah, anyways, don't when they say don't try this at home and we try this at home, do not try this at home when it comes to slapping your mother. Please.
Yeah, please do not try this at home ever.
Alrighty, and the match that opened up the night was the 4-way London ladder match for the AEW World Trios Championship. We had the new team of Pac and Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta defeat the Patriarchy, as well as the Bang Bang Gang and the House of Black. And these were, I believe it or not, I had them as my predictions to win this matchup here because
you did.
To me, it was just simple. The Patriarchy, it's like, okay, we've already been there, done that. They're the champions. I'm not expecting them to continue on here. Bang Bang Gang, unfortunately, not really doing much for me right now. House of Black ain't doing nothing for me either. So what's the most thing that's sparking my interest? BCC and Pac, process of elimination. That's how I ended up going with them. And I feel like that's probably why AEW also kind of went with them. They just felt a little bit more exciting as a team.
Yeah, I think of what Claudio has been doing recently. Wheeler's been pretty great since coming back, and we always want to see Pac. I think maybe adding some stakes to that is kind of like their thought process behind that. Like, what's a great way to utilize Pac? What if we put him over here with this? It's just, again, I'm just confused as to why it's happening. Why is Pac a part of the group now? Like, maybe a better explanation. It'll hit to like, this is why I reached out to you guys. Maybe they'll explain it later. But yeah, this is funny. Denise and I were laughing about skinny and small ladders and
oh my gosh, yes, I almost forgot about that. Them ladders, they were miniature size, bro.
They had some small ladders.
Yeah. And the tables were so slim and tan. They weren't like the brown that we're used to.
No, a couple of those tables look like the old desk that you used to have. That's like that kind of wood that you would have on the top. That's like, is this gonna? I don't think this is gonna break. Like, it's all super weird, but you know how I feel.
It broke except for like one spot where it didn't.
Exactly. You guys know how I feel about ladder matches. They're so nerve-wracking. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but it feels like everybody came out of this unscathed. And I thought this was a lot of fun. A great way to always kind of start a big show like this is with a ladder match or a kind of cluster ass match. So I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good way to kick off the show. With that being said, did you get a chance to watch the pre-show?
I did.
All right.
I watched all of it. Yeah.
I watched I watched the 16-man tag team match, but I wasn't really all that invested in it. I watched the 10-man tag match, also wasn't invested in it. But I did get invested in because there was a lot of comedy and was the mixed tag team match with Willow and Ishii versus Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. That shit was effing fun. But the big thing that happened on the pre-show was the return of Jamie Hayter. Now, before we get to that, how'd you feel about the 3 pre-show matches?
The Stokely, Willow, Stat, Ishii match was hilarious. I love that at one point Stat starts firing off on Ishii and Ishii's like, give me more. But then she continues firing on it and he starts selling for it. Like, he's like, oh no, these really work. This is work. Right into a Stokely Hathaway spine buster. Like, I was standing, jumping up and down when he hit the spine buster on Ishii. Shit was hilarious. Even Stokely's entrance, I don't know what that song was. He's like carried by like a bunch of dudes, like on like some Egyptian leather. I don't know what it was. Super great stuff. That was a really fun way to do that. I love that they did how many people were in that? 16?
Yeah, it was 16.
It was 8 on 8.
Yeah.
They did 8 on 8 it's like when WWE does the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, or any kind of like, let's just get a bunch of the homies on the show just for fun. Let them do some spots in front of this big crowd. Get them warmed up. So yeah, it's really, really cool stuff like that. But we all know why the pre-show was hot. Jamie Hayter is back. One of the best workers in the women's division. I think this is really great moment for her to come back. It's time. She's going to fit in like a glove. I'm sure she's so hungry to get back at it.
Dude, I was again not expecting her on the pre-show when Saraya was out there. I thought, this could be a spot for Jamie Hayter's return, but I thought they're gonna do it later. And I was almost like not even gonna care. I feel so bad. I didn't even listen to Saraya's promo. I could just hear her like yelling, and I'm like, okay, she's healing it up, whatever. And I was sort of getting ready for the post show, and then all of a sudden I hear Jamie's theme song. I like run over here because I had already everything set up, and I'm like, oh my god, Jamie's back. And then I went live right at that moment on here on the stream, and that's where the watch along started. Like right after Jamie Hayter came out, because I was like, guys, hey, what's up? Jamie Hayter is here. And that was kind of like a wild way to get things started, but really it was one of those things where it's like, okay, not expecting that, happy she's back, very thrilled she's back. Everybody's, sort of making some comparisons to her and Becky Lynch because of the red hair. She looks good, and she's always been so popular. I want to see her pick up where she left off, because where she left off, she was the hottest like female on the roster at that point.
Dude, she was more over than more over than Toni, more over than Britt. Remember, like people would be chanting for her when she wasn't even present, just like wanting her to be a part of this. So yeah, I hope this time she gets to really get involved with some other women, gets to really lock it up in there, and gets a long, sustainable run here in AEW, because she's awesome. I'm very excited to see her back.
Yeah, seriously. So, I mean, good stuff with that. So we'll see what they do. I'm expecting a program with her and Saraya to get things going. Yeah, to get things going. All righty. Damn, there we go. Reg, we've been on the air for we're 5.5 hours here. A lot of talking that we've done, but seriously, guys, we want to thank you guys so freaking much.
Cool.
If you guys were here for the entire watch along and the review, thank you so much. If you were just here for the watch along or here for just the review, regardless, thank you guys so much for joining us. I am going to put the podcast up here. You guys are going to see it in the video. So for those watching the video right now, thank you so much as well. Reg, how'd you feel your first watch along that you did and review?
Woo! Long time, 5.5 hours. I really appreciate everybody kind of being here. No, honestly, Denise, super duper fun watching the show. Who would have thought watching the show with a bunch of supporters and people from the stream would be extra fun? Like you said, I'm going to want to do all the post shows at this point. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm like, when's the next one?
I love it. I was going to say, well, the next one is technically All Out, but I'm going to be at the show. So I'll be back to my normal post scrums and something, and we'll figure it out. You'll see content going up. But just a friendly reminder to everybody, this Tuesday, I will be back with Chinadu to talk. I'm sorry. No, I'm wrong. Monday, I was skipping Monday. Monday, I will be here to do a Raw watch along. Hey, Raj, you should come on into the Raw watch along.
Nope.
You're like, when's the next one? It's on Monday, Reg.
Nope.
Okay, so Raw will be here for the watch along this Monday. Tuesday, I will be here with Chinadu. Next Wednesday, unfortunately, Reg and I will not be here because I will be flying out to Berlin for Bash at Berlin. However, I will be posting Bash at Berlin content, so keep an eye out for that, guys. And then we'll be back to our normal stream next week, and then I will be at All Out. So a lot going on. But Reg, what do you got going on?
This week I don't have anything. It's just regular week. Check out righteousreg.bandcamp.com. I'm about to drop some shit. I appreciate y'all.
Let's fucking go. Alrighty. Thank you so much to John Taylor here, who says always try to show up for the hashtag Cali Connection. We appreciate
everyone who showed up, and if you stayed for an hour, if you stayed for a minute, if you stayed for 3 hours, thank you so much. It's so cool.
Seriously. Alrighty, guys, that's a wrap for us here today. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We hope you have an awesome week. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys all enjoyed All In. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye, everyone.